that one of our guests tonight, as well as I kind of talked about for a few weeks now, planned.
Wait. You better not fuck me over YouTube. Okay, so he went to the live scene. It's a fucking video game.
Welcome to a very special segment.
And I see
here
P-Dog. That's somebody that's
under
his
YouTube
YouTube friends, like his
but
feature
this is something
channels.
that I thought
Fucking
would be very
P-Dog.
appropriate for the time. It was actually
I can't pause,
kind of
by the way.
That, one of our guests tonight, as well as I kind of
think
talked
YouTube
about for a
fucked
few weeks
me.
now and planned.
I can't pause.
And,
oh no!
Right now, what you're actually watching is some pretty old gameplay. This is gameplay from Call of Duty Black Ops 2 that both gentlemen who are on the podcast tonight were actually a part of. So tonight here in this very special segment, we've got both the Airy Lord, Chris.
What?
We've also got P-Dog, Pete. So hello, gentlemen.
P-Dog and Airy Lord?
Doing pretty
Those
well.
two dudes nobody care about?
Tonight for me than it is for him. But,
you mean Flip-Flop Lord?
Doing pretty well. Summer's almost
I
over.
gotta mute the fucking...
Yeah?
Sorry, I gotta mute the audio of the stream because I can't mute the video anymore. I can't pause it. But fucking Air Raid Lord, Flip Flop Lord, the dude that made jokes about him having gout, the dude that's half-ass distracted and half not, and fucking P-Dog. P-Dog. Whoa.
So this is kind of something special. And it's pretty cool right now. You guys can't see it, but
fucking
I'm actually
P-Dog.
some of our transit.
No one fucking knows P-Dog.
Black Ops 2 Zombie.
Are you serious?
Part of the launch of the game, and actually we'll have some more gameplay from the other zombie maps that we actually cooperatively played.
These are the friends you can find, DSP. Airy Lord and fucking P-Dog. I'm sorry if I seem like I'm shitting on Airy Lord and P-Dog, but really, you hype this up.
It's not direct capture, and I've done direct capture for almost 2 full years now.
Whoa!
And it just
fucking P-Dog.
So different than
What did you do?
What I do now. So
that's crazy, man.
So anyway, the reason that we are doing
and it's a shitty ass podcast.
A few things.
This is a shitty fucking podcast with him and Airy Lord and P-Dog talking. The two most boring dudes you can talk to.
You know, cooperative partners of mine.
What?
In particular with Chris, I've known him for several years.
Are you serious?
In person, had opportunity to do some cool stuff in person. And P-Dog has actually been a part
of
never
mentions P-Dog
for a long time.
I never heard DSP mention P-Dog ever.
The King of Hate podcast for a while. And
are you
these
fucking
gentlemen
serious?
have some news and stuff that they want to talk about tonight. But I guess what we'll do is we'll kind of go through the timeline of the years that I've actually done this on YouTube and how
I look like one of those dudes
guys,
after Undertaker lost at WrestleMania. I'm in shock. Fucking Airy Lord and P-Dog.
Actually, we're doing this special segment, the cool update on both of you that I definitely want to get into. So, so in particular, I guess we'll start with you, Chris. What was how did you first learn about my content? And
are you serious?
About how we
he's gonna ask Airy Lord how he first heard about
it was actually
him.
through
Is he a fucking
Fallout
fan
3,
or a friend?
Ironic because Fallout 4 is coming out later this year, and I was playing Fallout 3 was ironically one of my first RPGs. I had been more of like a shooter platformer kind of guy for a long time, so I wasn't really an RPG kind of guy. And so Fallout 3 came out,
I'm sorry
and I was
for
like,
yelling.
all right, I'm learning the ropes.
Really
wasn't
am
that
sorry
great.
for yelling. I hate fucking yelling over the
I
microphone
beat
because I know
the
this
game
microphone
on
is
the
weird as fuck.
I did the good ending,
Holy
and so
shit.
I beat it, and I was on YouTube what the bad ending is, and I searched Fallout 3 bad ending, and I come across this video called Fallout 3, I believe it was like part 145, 146, and it said bad, but it didn't say bad ending, it just said bad. I was like, what does that mean? I clicked the video, and I see this video that's like skewed to the side.
I can't even tell how long it is.
This drunken individual continuously locking himself out of Project Purity and getting confused as to why
I can't even skip ahead or skip behind anymore.
Just at the time watching it,
fucking Airy Lord and P-Dog
from it, like it just made me just die laughing. Like I just thought it was the funniest thing. I shared it at the time with a bunch of my friends I played Xbox with. I shared it and I was like, look at this. This is really funny. And some people were like, yeah, it's kind of funny and kind of this, kind of that. And so I think I followed your content into 2009 just off and on, just games I was interested in, like Prototype, Call of Duty. I watched the Friend Request Ridicule series. Our first interaction ever was over Xbox. And I don't know
I
if
might
you
have to
remember
upload
this.
this as 2
Friend
separate
request
videos.
ridicule.
This is going to have to be a
part
whole
5
video.
episode. It was episode 5, the last one you did.
I got to give it a
360, part
clickbait
2.
title just so people
My
watch
gamer
this
tag at
instead
the
of
time was
watching his own separate
Destroyer789.
podcast.
I sent
Because
you
I
a
want to be
message
an
and I
asshole and
said,
steal views
hey,
from
you
them for
know,
this.
you
This
should
is
try
fucking
games like
ridiculous.
ODST,
Harry Lord and
Assassin's
P-Dog.
Creed.
2 people no one
And at the
gives a
time
fuck
you blew
about.
through the message and you're like, oh, you call me.
I'm sorry
you
if I
call me
seem
a
like I'm
fag.
shitting on them, but
In
no
the video,
one gives a fuck
you're like,
about
Henry,
Harry
and
Lord
Pete
and
and I joke
fucking
about this, like,
P-Dog.
Henry,
No one even
ODST,
knows
Assassin's
who
Creed Halo,
P-Dog
I'm a big fag. And at the
And
time,
Harry
I
Lord
watched
is
it, I was
called
like,
fucking
call me a-
Flip
I was
Flop
so
Lord.
defeated. I was like, oh no, I was like, I fucked up. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then after that, I was like, ah, whatever. He's still funny. I'll just go along with it. And it's bet you said in the video that they were just jokes, and I was like, whatever. So, still followed your con throughout 2009. And then in 2010, I think there was like I was like Noah Jefferson. I sent in another question to another fan mail thing, and then
Noah Jefferson. Like, where are you getting these names from?
well, that's the main character. I don't know. That was the name from my the destroyer name was some random crap that I came up with my friends. The Noah Jefferson is a character from the freaking some of my writing. But anyway,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So basically, what happened in 2010, in high school, without going into too much detail, I kind of isolated myself a lot in high school, and I was looking for something to do. Like, I had a hobby in gaming, and I was like, you know what, I want to take this to the next level. And through seeing your content, I was like, you know what, like, this is, like, I love the comedy that this guy's doing. Like, he really connects with people. He's natural about it. It's not forced. It's just, a very casual community, and it's very fun and enjoyable. And so I was like, you know what, I want to do this. And I asked for a camcorder for Christmas from my parents for 2010. And I got it, and I did just random walkthrough videos. But then I was like, I wanted to be more connected to your community. And so I made the We Didn't Start the Fire remix.
Right, I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I made it, and it was horrible. It was like Windows Live Movie Maker with like it wasn't even timed, and it was like you dancing to some of the freaking songs by Billy Joel. It was, and you favorited it, and I was like, having like a freaking fangasm at the time. I was like, oh shit, he favored it and stuff.
I guess we should point out, at this time, this was a time when you actually favorited a video on YouTube, people could see it. So, like, for me to favorite a video back then, tens of thousands of people would see that I favorited it, and they would check out the video. So that was actually some pretty good exposure, and that was a way that I was trying to give exposure to people who were doing creative stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it did. I got,
Sorry, I can't pause the video to talk. He was fangasming over it.
joined a whole bunch of your fan appreciations. I joined Black Ops. This was around the time you got kicked off of Blip TV too. I joined Black Ops. I joined Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. There were some others I joined. I know there was some. Homefront. You remember that freaking game? Yeah, I did Homefront.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of random stuff, and that was all trickled throughout there. And then I tried to make one or two more remixes, but I wasn't really good at making musical crap, and I was like, I give up. So, and then a lot of my channel was, it kind of at the time influenced, like I was freaking, filming my TV, trying to do playthroughs of new games, even though it was kind of hit or miss, and I didn't have much money to buy them. And so I was looking for conventions that you were going to actually meet you in person, because I lived on the East Coast. I won't say what state, but I lived on the East Coast, close to where you live, and I was like, if you ever...
I won't say what state. What the fuck, you scared of fucking being doxxed or some shit? Whatever, fuck it. I'm not gonna say anything.
It didn't work just because it was like Pennsylvania to where I live. It was way too far.
Right.
So then
that whole convention didn't work out very well anyway for us. So
that was the year you guys were late. You guys showed up late.
We were stuck in like an 8-hour traffic jam. Just tell me how it takes 8 hours to get from Connecticut to Pennsylvania when it's normally a 2-hour drive. That was just a nightmare. Bro.
Yeah, I remember like a tractor trailer like flipped over on its side or something, and it was
it did.
Yep, that was ridiculous. So I was actually glad that weekend that I didn't go. And so later you mentioned Kineticon, which was in Connecticut, and this is where I first met you, at Kineticon. And I met you at the gaming center.
I'm not going to try to pause it much more after this, but the only thing I can really give this, it actually sounds like a legitimate fucking podcast, instead of just a dude sitting on his sofa talking about random shit. That's one thing I can give it. It's another person, and it's two people playing off each other, at least a little. So that's something. It's at least kind of a podcast. But this is two special guests. It's Air Raid Law talking over fucking Skype probably.
Wow,
really?
okay, I guess,
in fucking P-Dog. P-Dog. You ever heard P-Dog talk? I haven't. I don't even fucking know who he is. I just know P-Dog as being one of the dudes that's featured on DSP channel that I never fucking seen before. And I've been watching DSP since 2008. I still don't know who fucking P-Dog is. But I guess we're gonna figure out today. Fucking P-Dog.
The fact that anyone would even want to watch my content or think that I was an entertaining person was just like mind-blowing. And so I went to ConnectiCon, and you were one of maybe 2 or 3 people who kind of came up to me at the convention and spent a significant time at least having a conversation with me or whatever. And obviously today it's a lot different world. You got people who will do malicious things with personal information, but at the time it was kind of like you were one of the very first few people who had ever been personable to me in real life. And I said, what's the loss here if the kid ends up being a creeper or whatever? Who cares? It's just he has my big deal. It's a cell phone number. I could always get it blocked or changed. It's not that big of a deal. And I didn't take it that way either. It wasn't like Chris, when I met him at this convention, was like being a creeper or anything like that. No, it was a normal guy, and he was having fun. It was cool that we got to meet and have a conversation. And I remember I was playing in the Street Fighter tournament, and he watched me play in the Street Fighter tournament a little bit and stuff like that. So it wasn't like obsessive fan runs up to you, oh my god, it's DSP. You know what I mean? No, Chris is a cool guy. He's a laid back guy. He's fun.
That's the flack I got when the videos I uploaded, Pete. That was the flack I got for years in 2011 throughout 2012. I got that flack from the fans at the time, and it was kind of a mob mentality about it, and I didn't know how to handle it. Like, I replied to a lot of people trying to turn their opinions and explain to them what it really was. But I kind of fell flat, and I wasn't used to dealing with such levels of people knowing me, I just didn't know what to say or what to do. Like I remember a few times, especially.
But, okay, I gotta say right here one more fucking time. I'm not trying to. Boy, it's loud as fuck, dude. I'm not trying to shit on P-Dog. I'm not trying to shit on Air Raid Lord, but he hyped this shit up. He hyped this up, and his current fans don't know who P-Dog is, I'm sure. And Air Raid Lord is Flip-Flop Lord, so why would you hype it up? Just say it's going to be 2 guests. People thought it would be fucking Rambo. I even thought it might have been fucking OJ, a Howard show up. No. P-Dog and Air Raid Lord. P-Dog and fucking Air Raid Lord.
And so, over the years, Chris and I had a few other, in-person interactions. I remember in particular.
And P-Dog didn't even talk yet, so that's exciting. I don't even know how he sounds. It's just
great.
a dude.
And that was a lot of fun. And
I see on DSP
like
channel.
Then, co-op really, when it came down
not
to
even favorites. I don't know what the fuck they call it. The highlighted people.
I needed kind of a
Good Lord.
dependable, consistent person who was going to contribute to a cooperative playthrough. In particular, I'll say this first-person shooters. It seems like more often than not, those were the kind of games that we played. Chris was kind of the go-to guy who I would go to. And there's a few others, so I don't want to have anyone who's participated in my cooperative playthroughs.
Yeah, Chris was the go-to guy because he didn't have nothing else going on. And you fucking needed him to do stuff for you. So you can make some easy-ass money off of it.
We had a lot of fun doing different gameplay over the years.
GTA Online co-op.
Black Ops 2,
look, it's Air Raid Law. No one cares now.
Stuff. A pretty crazy one. I think it was the one that were buried or something like that. I can't
Buried,
remember the name of it. And so we had a lot of fun over the years doing that stuff. And, for a while it was consistent.
I can't even check how long it is. But this segment is long as balls. Long as balls doesn't make sense. But it's long as fuck.
Became a lot less co-op. It became a lot more kind of solo gameplay over the years. And Chris, grew up a little bit, went to college or university or whatever you would call it in your respective country. I know different places around the world call it something different. Got a lot less gameplay stuff that he was doing on YouTube, And so even though we still did do cooperative stuff, it became less and less as he became a little bit more busy with his own personal life and stuff like that. And we still keep in touch. You know, we still talk to each other, even though it may not be as often as it used to be because we're not doing as much gameplay, you know.
How it would have been better.
We still
the fucking random dude that played the Sonic and Mario Olympic games with him would have been better. I don't even know his fucking name.
Anything else you'd
obviously, Giant Rambo was the number one guess, but
P-Dog now. Anything else you want to
people thought that wouldn't happen.
Before we let P-Dog talk a little bit?
P-Dog.
Oh no, it was fun. You know, I just remember Too Many Games 2012, which we'll probably bring up.
P-Dog is talking. Great.
P-Dog and I, but like Too Many Games 2012, I remember hanging out with you, John, Leanna, OJ. Like that was just.
Oh, look, you mentioned John and OJ, the two people that would have been fucking better than P-Dog and fucking Air Raid Lord.
For years, but you know, it's just those were those were good times and stuff. And I was obviously a very different person back then, so it was fun.
Were you less boring then?
You know, times changed and stuff, but I did enjoy it while it was going on. So I'll say that.
Wow, what a great fucking statement. Thanks, P-Dog. You talked for less than 2 minutes. I really appreciate it. I'm so fucking entertained.
In the old days, because Chris and Pete both have been associated with me from more of like the old. Everyone say, "Oh, the old days." The old DSP before he did direct capture and stuff like that, but
I watched you in 2008 because I didn't suck your dick. I can't be on your podcast. Is that how it works?
Your involvement over the years?
I guess so.
Yeah, I kind of got like I was kind of.
Who the fuck is talking now?
The same time that Chris was, I think.
Wait, I can't even rewind it. My bad for talking over. Who the fuck is talking now?
Your playthrough of Wolfenstein, like the
Who is this random dude talking?
The reboot.
The Xbox 360.
I'm lost.
Yeah, the reboot one. And I
I'm
remember
lost.
seeing it, and I remember just like I was like, so how was I back then? If it came out in like 09, it would have been 6 years ago. So I would have been like what, 14 maybe. So I thought nothing of it. So I saw the footage, and I was just like,
14
okay,
years old.
some guy talking to his TV. If anything, I found it kind of bizarre because I was like, what's the appeal of somebody just talking over gameplay? But then I was like, all right, well, fair enough.
Wait a minute.
It wasn't until quite a while later that I was playing a game on my own. I can't remember what it was now. But I remember looking up. I was trying to look up some gameplay for the game before determining what's going to happen. And funny enough, your video for that game came up as well, and I was like, oh, it's the same guy. That's weird. And then I just started watching your playthrough of that, like the entire thing, and I started to kind of see the
Is this P-Dog?
Because I mean,
was the last dude talking?
The YouTube market now is like
Air Raid Lord again, and I just didn't catch it.
All that.
I don't know.
But like back then,
it's a dude.
Lucky to get maybe
it's fucking
3 people like, talking over a video
whatever.
game back then.
It's fucking Hornswoggle.
So I remember, like, whenever you would look up maybe playthrough of so and so game, your footage would normally be like the first 1 or 2 to come up. So your name kept on popping up.
This is just dudes saying how they discovered DSP and why they watched his videos. I could do that. Am I gonna get on this podcast to do that? I could do that right now.
That I started, interacting with a lot of other people and trying to. I
don't even know what game is on the screen. It looked like Left 4
establishing
Dead,
a community in that
but
website.
I don't know. I never played
there was
Left
a
4
lot
Dead.
of people there. I remember your footage got me into Street Fighter, and that game became like one of my favorites. Street Fighter 4.
His footage got me into Street Fighter too, so I deserve to be talking on this podcast.
And at the start of 2011,
it didn't get me into Street Fighter.
Really impressive.
I already like Street Fighter. That's the reason why I started watching.
A little while later that. There was always this regime coming around. Like, there's always this idea that people had to start their own podcast, like their own community podcast, based on your content, but also based on gaming in general or other stuff that's coming about. But nobody ever actually took action on it.
So a podcast based on his content and based on gaming in general. That sounds like the Sons of Kojima podcast.
Like I was doing some of my own YouTube stuff.
Sounds like the same thing.
Into it as maybe Chris was, or obviously you were. So I just decided I'm just gonna like make a start to create this podcast.
So this is P-Dog.
Setting it up.
I think
me and 3 other people. And
I never even heard P-Dog talk. I never even went to his channel.
And talk to different
I just saw it as a name under his little
talk about your content and stuff, and it was a really high
list and was like, who the fuck is P-Dog? And I just always ignored it.
2012, I want to say that this was happening. So you were getting so your popularity was really growing as well because you started going to gaming conventions, and Project 7 was being rebooted, and you had a lot of stuff going.
He sounds very Irish.
The community was flourishing at this point, and like. And then that got a bit of popularity as well, and then we decided to branch out and start interviewing, people of interest in the DSP community, and ironically enough, the very first person that actually came to us for an interview,
we might as well have a fucking
we
community.
were thinking about the idea, and then all of a sudden, I don't remember this. Chris, you might remember this. You contacted me.
I guess this is P-Dog. What the fuck?
I know why. Because
I thought he was talking earlier.
On Ask the King, I think. You didn't ask an Ask the King episode.
Yes, good memory. I didn't even remember that. Yeah, so he was... Yep, yeah, you can go.
Yeah. No, what happened was,
this is like a fucking Sons of Kojima podcast. Like it's a real podcast with multiple people playing off each other. So that gives us some entertainment value. But it's fucking Arielord and P-Dog.
And as a result, came and messaged me directly and then just said, hey, if you don't know who I am, Chris, give me a bit of the background that you just did there now. And if you want to interview me, I'm here. Here's my details, all that. And I thought, like, jackpot. We just got, our very first guest is someone who's done like loads of content for DSP. It was great. So, so we started, talking to each other beforehand, and then we interviewed him. I think
why isn't P-Dog popular? He's foreign. Foreign people are extremely popular on YouTube.
Yeah, so we interviewed the area.
Look at Total Biscuit and Jim Sterling. They're extremely fucking popular. People love foreign people on YouTube.
Later on and said, "Oh, how do you interview?"
You could fake an accent and get 100,000 subs in 2 months.
You interview someone that's said and done, they're gone. You don't hear back from them. But then Chris came back to me and wanted to know
what the fuck are you talking about, P-Dog?
I could kind of tell through his tone and stuff. It wasn't just one of those like a gig for him. It wasn't just one of those things where he was going to show up, speak about himself, yada yada, and then just leave. He actually cared about the content and cared about the community. I think that was what it came from. Like the
2 things that don't fucking exist.
Like it was so close.
If DSP has a community, I have a fucking community. I'm sorry.
I'm just speaking.
If he has a community, I have one too.
It seemed as if Chris actually cared
a few people that watch your shit and talk to each other every once in a while doesn't mean you have a fucking community.
Our main
shenanigans.
Factor of trying to get to know each other was through actually your content, Phil. And we were talking about, you hear what happened with Phil, you hear what game he's playing and all that stuff. And then we just started talking quite a lot over the course of that next year. And then, here we are in a podcast together with Phil,
Right.
Here we are on a podcast together with Phil 3 years later. It took 3 fucking years to be on a podcast with him. Wow, what a great fucking honor.
And it was funny on my channel. He sent in questions to my
You really didn't fix your echo, Arielord, for real? I could hear you in the background when you talk. You talk and then I hear talk. So you would say, I'm talking, and you would hear talking. So I'm talking.
The podcast was in April of 2012, and so the months after, I was just talking to him while doing my content.
Don't you have a partnership, Arielord? Don't you make like $5 on from fucking Machinima every 7 months or some shit?
At the time, I didn't know this. But
Let me shut up, because I sound like I hate Arielord now. I don't hate him.
Because it was just me in a room by myself doing gameplay. So, Pete was somebody who
I'm just salty because this is the 2 guests. I really am. I'm salty because of this.
And we both kind of liked your gameplay for similar reasons and had found it for similar reasons. And because we had similar interests outside of that as well, it was kind of just like an instant click of just friendship that happened.
Click of friendship.
And it was something at the time that took me off guard because I was just doing YouTube stuff, just living out my daily life, and all of a sudden it kind of crept up on me, and it was really cool. And he became such a good friend of mine. I tried to get him in the Black Ops 2 Zombies because I knew that it was me, Kurochado, and you, Phil. And I was like, well, we don't.
I would have been happy with fucking Kurochado.
Yo, Pete, you want to?
Who fucking knows who P-Dog is? At least Kurochado is a recognizable name if you watch DSP shit.
And it blew my mind as well seeing this.
P-Dog?
You think about the whole premise of you're going to be playing a video game with somebody. It normally isn't that big of a deal, but then if you kind of factor in the fact that I first saw Phil's footage in 2008. And 4 years later, I'm actually going to be in a playthrough, and I'm sure Chris can relate to this as well because he was in the same boat with me. That you see this guy's footage for so long, and you're just a viewer, you're just a spectator, you're not involved in it. Then all of a sudden, it's as if you're being teleported into your computer screen, and you're like, oh, I'm in the video. Here I am. I'm playing the game with the guy who I've been watching for the past couple of years. And I remember I got that invitation, and it meant a lot more because it wasn't just I'm playing called Black Ops 2 with some guy from YouTube. It's somebody that I was a huge fan of for years, and it was like one of those celebrity things where it's you gotta meet your favorite celebrity. It was stuff like that there where you started to understand the importance of YouTubers and how big it can eventually get. Like Phil just said there now, like, you know, people actually coming up to you in conventions and stuff. It's just, the whole medium of YouTube is just so fascinating, and how it's like blown up over the course of the years, and now YouTube have their own conventions and stuff. It's crazy how their like online community has now exploded onto like the mainstream almost.
And so, Phil, there were some things that developed off, like during like Too Many Games with one of the big events, because I had been talking to him for about 2 months at that point, and so I actually had you, John, and OJ.
Oh, nice. John and OJ
referencing the book I was trying to sell at the convention. I sent it to him, and I signed other autographs, but I remember he asked specifically for it, and I remember we all wrote that out. The other interesting thing that happened from that, Pete was still running the King of Hate podcast in June, and so I remember at the time he was looking to interview other people, and one of the big people he wanted to interview was you. And so I remember at Too Many Games, he came to me with kind of like a laundry list and kind of was like, "Can you ask Phil if he wants to be on the podcast?" And I said, I mean, I'll try. I don't know if he'll want to be on it. And you'll have to remind me, I don't know what happened specifically, but I remember we went to a restaurant, like putting on the dog or something. And I remember asking you there, and I don't remember really what your response was in terms of that. But all I remember is it never came to fruition for whatever reason.
Okay, I got it muted because the audio fucking with me. But okay, this. What's going on now? This could be a normal everyday podcast. If this was Hate Live episode 32, couple special guests, fun segments, and that was the name, I'll be fine with it. But 2 special guests, he fucking hype it up for like 2 weeks and shit. And this is it. It's just dudes talking about how they discovered DSP. You mean the same thing tons of fucking people do every fucking day? You mean the same thing that's completely irrelevant unless you're important in the DSP hate or pro DSP community? Because besides that, if you discover DSP some kind of special way, it's fucking irrelevant. No one cares unless you're known for not liking them or known for liking them. But this is nothing. This is worthless content. Is you and P-Dog and Air Raid Lord just talking? Not even you. By you, I mean DSP. Not even you. Just P-Dog and Air Raid Lord saying, yeah, I watched DSP because of this, and I started liking his videos back then, and I'm here on his shitty podcast now. For real? Wow.
Shift between the things that I've done. For example,
my bit rate
there was one time when I was very heavily into the KingofHate.com website, the old website, before I even owned it.
I wonder if the locally recorded videos are going to be fucked up too.
The fact that because there has been kind of different waves of people who've watched my content, that a lot of the original group who used to be the people who were into this stuff back then,
barely even liked DSP.
A lot of them have phased out, I'll be honest. You know, you grow up,
he halfway like him.
Mature, you move on from stuff that maybe you were a fan of when you were younger. And I find that a lot of the people who were the original
what's the point of them being on this? What's the point of them being on this Hate Live? That's another thing I just thought about. What's the fucking point? What are they gonna do? You know, after today, is P-Dog and Air Raid Lord gonna be a staple of DSP content in the future? Probably not. Are they gonna be in future co-op playthroughs? Probably not. Are we going to see them in person with their fucking face showing on Hate Live? Probably not. When he said 2 special guests, I thought a person would show up. No, because DSP is a fucking hermit. Not even a real person can come on this podcast. Nope. You get a fucking Skype call with some old-ass Call of Duty looking gameplay on the screen. I don't even know if it's Call of Duty. You get a Skype call with some old-ass looking Call of Duty gameplay recorded off-screen showing. Not even a real person.
Yeah.
All that Patreon money. A motherfucker can't even get flown to Washington State to be on this podcast. And this was pre-recorded, so he pre-recorded this too. This is basically a separate podcast. This podcast that he put no effort into because it's 2 people talking, and it's him talking in between it.
That are based around that, and sometimes, you know, gaming stuff isn't always, you know, necessary.
Holy shit.
You know, it's kind of just maturing, like you said. So.
Right, and I do want to say this, even though that you two guys are not frequently involved in my gameplay or content anymore, first of all, it's not forgotten. I mean, these videos are going to basically be on YouTube until YouTube decides to shut down. You know what I mean? Like, here's gameplay that we've done over the years. It's going to be there for people to watch, and I'm sure right now, people who are watching this on Hate Live are going to say, wow, this looks interesting. These guys did this co-op, and they'll go back, and I guarantee you people will check it out for the first time, and there's always the opportunity to have a whole new audience involved.
I'm not going to check it out. I don't want to watch DSP play Call of Duty or some other shitty game with P-Dog and fucking Arid Lord. They boring. Like, I'm really trying to not shit on P-Dog and Arid Lord, but they boring. It's the reason why people like John Rambo more, because John Rambo is not boring. But
I remember
fucking Panda Lee is better than them.
Just to throw my biggest memory from zombies is
Let
on
me
the
shut
buried
up.
map.
Let me shut up.
You were trying to revive me. You got downed. Your guy fell backwards, and you fell in the hole and buried the hole that teleports you to the beginning of the map. You fell in the hole, and you downed yourself, and then Nestor was able to revive you because you fell in the hole,
Nestor
dying.
reference.
It was the funniest thing. I remember that, and it was oh my god.
More
so yeah,
often than not, when I end up
We
doing
all
co-op
watch
with
those
people,
hot
it's a
Nestor-
comedy of
Nestor
errors rather than
videos,
anything
don't
else,
we?
but it's always a good time and it's always funny, so...
Yeah.
So anyway, to get back on track... Oh my god, now a demon baby jumped at me. Anyway, to get back on track, the reason that we're kind of doing this is because we have a big update regarding Chris and P-Dog. First of all, Chris and P-Dog remained, friends, even over the years when they became less involved with my community and my content. They remained friends.
Less involved.
And,
what is popular as
stayed in
Rambo,
close contact. And now there's something pretty cool. Now that Chris is, at school, at university, at college,
we tuned in this long.
That's going to be coming up later this year that they'd like to talk about a little bit and give a little bit of information.
Okay, this is what we've been waiting for.
Chris,
this is what's been hyped up. Their announcement. They're getting married.
I'll start with kind of what's going on with me. I haven't even said this on my channel, but I'm actually going to be studying abroad in London.
Okay, who cares?
This is huge for me. I've never ever gone to another country, and it's going to be obviously for academic reasons. I'll be doing, an internship that's part-time and some classes part-time.
Okay,
all
this is
interesting
irrelevant
stuff.
to the viewer.
Traveling all around, having some fun times, all that.
Okay, this is irrelevant to
great
the viewer.
stuff, and seeing some sights.
Okay, this is irrelevant
What's
to the viewer.
interesting, since Pete is an international person.
Okay, this is irrelevant to the viewer.
He goes to school over within the region where I'm going, or not exactly close, but somewhat in the region where I'll be studying. And so after almost 4 years of knowing him, I'll be meeting him for the first time in almost a month's time.
Okay, this is
at the end of September.
Is this your podcast now, fucking P-Dog?
For me, like,
this
I
isn't
can't.
P-Dog, this is
it's just
Ariel,
weird because like I've never been through an experience in my life of having like an online friendship that's like so like close, like knowing someone who's so similar to me and just having so many interests. And it's insane because anyone in my real life who I had those kind of things with, like I saw them all the time. Like they either lived in my town, it's just something like that.
Okay,
and
this
now
is irrelevant to the viewer.
Like online, like you never know, like for me, it's like if we're this good friends online, like imagine the fun time we'll have in real life, and it's just like in the past we tried to get stuff. We tried to meet up in like 2013. We tried, but
this is irrelevant to the viewer.
Due to different circumstances, it just didn't work. But because I'm studying, it's kind of like, hey, I'm there.
This is irrelevant
let's go
to
ahead
the
and give it a shot. And
you shouldn't talk about.
It's going to be really fun. And
what's the point?
I'm looking forward to it.
What?
And,
what's the point?
There's two different things we're doing. It's me just visiting him and at his university, and then Pete will be giving me a bit of a tour of his Irish homeland, where he's actually a native of.
Nice.
And it's going to be really cool. There's like Game of Thrones tours up there apparently, and he'll give me the history of the potato famine, which will also be nice. No, I'm joking. This is a joke. But,
great.
Okay, this is irrelevant to the viewer.
I think it's more of like
like
a shock because with people like who grew up in this internet generation,
with this.
The difference between online interactions, people on a television screen, in comparison to interactions with people that are walking and talking and that you see in the flesh, are so like different. Because if you're talking to somebody in real life, it's a lot more different than just staring at a wall and talking to somebody over a microphone. But seeing those two worlds like collide, it's going to be like a pretty surreal experience, I'm sure. And you know, the fact that it's happening so soon is also pretty surreal. You know, all this build-up, you know, 3 years in the making, and it's going to happen, you know, next month. It's nuts.
It's crazy. Kind of and Phil, I owe it all to you too, man. Like, I mean, you know, I wouldn't have met, you know, such a good friend without, you know, you and your content, and you know, that's just. You know, that's why your whole community has a lot of, you know, relation to stuff that I do. My own YouTube channel, how I've changed and seen gaming. You know, the fact that I've, you know, been making money with Machinima kind of because I got that audience and now, you know, made a really good friend, and you know, that was just, you know, all just amazing stuff that came from that. And,
you know, Jonathan Ross talking.
It's kind of hard to believe. You know, it's really going to kind of be hard to believe.
You know.
So, at the end of September, on Twitter or something, I'll send you a picture when we when we meet up, and I'll be like, yo, you know, so yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
And you know, it's funny because, you know, you say, oh, it's all up to. Listen, I am going to take zero credit here for the fact that there are people.
The point of this is that the DSP community started a relationship between two dudes.
The King of Hate
Fair enough.
Community,
I completely appreciate
had these kind of friendships and interactions. I mean, I'm just a guy. I told you. For me, for the past 7 years, my life has been a series of happy coincidences and happy accidents. You know what I mean? I'm a guy who had an office job, who hurt his back and said, I'm just going to put a camera up in front of the TV and kind of dick around here. Somehow, due to some unforeseen, amazing, you know, aligning of the planets and circumstances on the internet and everything going on, I somehow caught on in popularity. People found that I was a funny person, and somehow it became something much bigger than that. And it's awesome to hear, you know, unique stories from people who have been involved in watching the content and talking to other people who've watched my content, who've been involved with my websites, various iterations over the years.
What am I listening
to? And the fact to hear that here's two guys who have been around since kind of the beginning, and not only have we had our own interactions through, you know, sometimes meeting in real life, sometimes doing gameplay, but now they're going to meet up in person, and they live across the globe from each other, but now they're going to have these awesome real life experiences. And I actually said this to Chris before we started recording. I said, whatever you do, don't make the mistake I did. When you're going to do a crazy, cool life experience, a big trip like this, don't spend your whole time playing video games. You know, that's something you do from the comfort of your own home.
Don't spend your whole time playing video games.
When you're out there in the UK, take in the sights, do the cultural things,
he watches movies
have fun, you know, do stuff
so
together. That's, you know, might be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You don't know when you're going to get another opportunity to possibly meet up and do fun stuff together. And, you know, take the best out of it, and don't be like me, who went to Las Vegas 3-4 times just to play Street Fighter and never actually saw the Strip because I'm a complete idiot and I regret it. You know, and that's awesome. I'm glad to have you guys on the podcast
DSP,
again.
I need to be a fan of you. I could need a male companion.
And I certainly hope that the two of you, as you are doing stuff over there during Chris's time abroad, will keep us updated. I'd be more than happy to share any kind of cool, fun stuff you guys are doing.
I hate to make it seem like I'm making fun of that, but it really does sound that way.
You know, I'm going to be doing podcasts crazy amounts of time during that hardcore gaming season because, as everyone knows, I get really busy with all the new releases. But from time to time, more than likely retweet or stuff like that. Absolutely, I'd like to keep people
poor P-Dog, whoever the fuck you are.
And one thing that I guess we can kind of
this is something
adjourn this segment with is that we did talk a little bit about the possibility of future co-op, in particular, as we've been watching all this Black Ops footage during this segment. As everyone knows, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is coming out later
He's going
to
play with these two fucking boring dudes.
This is the Treyarch.
Great. I'm looking forward to it.
Every 3 years you get
I'm subscribed to the channel already. I am hyped.
Call of Duty games, and
yes.
They make the zombie mode. They make the best zombie mode.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Shot at it. I certainly think that the Treyarch has done the best with the zombie stuff. And obviously, I would like to have, you know, Chris and Pete back as cooperative partners.
Oh, Pete.
The one
Pete
kind of a little bit of a negative here is that they will actually be doing this stuff together during the time period when Black Ops is released. Chris will still be over there in the UK.
Oh, so this is after they get married. Nice.
And Pete, if you guys want to talk a little bit about the possibility of maybe doing that or not, and just so everyone kind of knows what to expect.
I hope Karen Shadow and Pete can have a decent
it wasn't even a thought in, like, we didn't, like, in our conversations, we didn't talk about, because Pete didn't have a next-gen console to play Black Ops 3. And even though Black Ops 3 is on the last console, which I don't agree with, I feel like it holds back the game.
homophobic.
I agree.
But I'm not being homophobic.
you know, it's gonna be,
No.
you know, obviously you want to play
Libre
on
is my
PlayStation 4,
favorite
which is what I'm
character in
assuming
Fire
Nestor has the
Emblem.
system
Libre
for
is my
PlayStation 4,
waifu.
so,
Right.
you
Not
know,
homophobic at all.
I was like, okay. The thing is, though, which is, you know, I haven't said to my fans or, you know, anyone on different channels and stuff, but, you know, as kind of like a celebration kind of thing for meeting up with Pete for the first time. This guy is such a good friend of mine that I went out and bought him a full-blown PlayStation 4 with some other accessories and stuff thrown in there.
P-Dog and
I got a big discount on it, so there were certain things I did to get a big discount on it, so it didn't cost too much money.
Friends with
but
you know what? No,
it was definitely something.
No. Real talk. Let's pause it right here. I'm actually glad that Ari Lord and P-Dog actually found legitimately good friends in a really, really shitty DSP community. I have to give them that. It's hard to find a good friend in any community, especially like some online shit. But I'm glad that both of them found a friend in the awful, barren wasteland that is the DSP community. So I can give them that. I'm actually glad that that's a thing with both of them. Because I can guarantee no other DSP fans can say they found a legitimate friend in the DSP community. So I give them that. I'm actually glad that that's a thing.
We'll do that in the spring because I'll be back in the United States in the spring, and I'm only abroad from September to December. I turned 21 in freaking Britain, Phil.
21.
Nice. Boy, I'm sure you guys will be pub crawling.
Oh yeah.
I am like, but the thing is, I can drink though because it's 18 over there. But like, I'm celebrating I'm celebrating my 21st birthday in a country where I can already drink, but it's.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
If you see some wasted photos on Twitter, don't take a second glance.
Oh yeah, you know what's
in
gonna
terms
happen.
of Black Ops, that's what I'm looking at. It's a 50-50. I don't know if it'll be able to work. Hey, but if we can't do it, then maybe two fans might have a bonus opportunity to jump in.
It's not two fans anymore.
You know,
y'all fans of each
other. I'm sure Nestor has people he's done zombies with, so he can help you guys out. And
right, it's funny when you kind of bring it up because right now I guarantee you guys there are people watching this podcast right now, and they're like, Phil played Black Ops Zombies cooperatively. When the hell was this? Because
this is a weird story to listen to. I can see why somebody told me it was a cringe fest earlier. It depends on how you look at it. I'm looking at it in a different outlook.
A lot of the people who watch my stuff today are not necessarily the people who watched my content back then. So a lot of people might not even know that I used to.
I have a legitimate smile on my face right now.
A lot more often. So. I would absolutely love to have you guys, obviously.
This is something to listen
to. Getting the band back together, as they say. I've already spoken with Nestor. And
Fuck
he
Nestor.
is very excited for Black Ops 3 as well. He'll be joining me for
P-Dog and Ari Lord, no Nestor. We don't need extra wheels on the car.
You know, if not, certainly don't let it be something that weighs down.
No. P-Dog and Ari Lord are going to be getting drunk out there in foreign land.
Not for worrying about gaming.
Yeah, they're going to be having some fun.
It just happens to be the
they're not going to be worried about Black Ops 3.
Situation that this year happens to be a year with so many good games.
Shout out to them.
During this awesome, life-changing time for you that, you know, you will have to wait. But listen, it's like you said, Chris, map packs are going to be coming out throughout the year. We always love to play the Zombies map packs, and we'll definitely be looking to do cooperative gameplay for them. So
this is amazing.
Chris and Pete can't make it.
This could have easily been
launch.
I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to say
it.
I don't want to seem like I'm being. I'm not going to say it.
I just want to say thanks to you guys. Number one, first of all, for obviously being
I'm glad
I
listened to this
segment. Something different, awesome variety. Number two, for obviously being not only viewers and fans, but kind of you both, in your own way, you've taken initiative to go to the next level, whether it was becoming part of the King of Hate community, running a podcast, meeting me in person, doing cooperative gameplay with me, spreading the word about my stuff. You guys are the reason, quite honestly, part of the big reason why I have been, and continuously have been able to be successful for as long as I've had, rather than just someone coming in, seeing a video, okay, and they never come back. You guys got invested and kind of made your own, had your own friendships and these own relationships based around that content, and you know, thanks for being awesome. Thanks for sharing your story with us. I'm sure a lot of people probably enjoyed
this fact
that you shared your time with us today, and I think that that everyone will definitely look forward to hearing more from you during this abroad time of the stuff you're doing together. We'd love to see pictures and stuff. Like I said, I'm actually a lot more active these days on social media than I used to be. I remember, like you had said, Chris, back then I wasn't even on Twitter.
Pictures on getting
now
married.
I've got people who constantly look at my stuff on Twitter, Instagram, and stuff like
the
that.
The wording
so
is amazing.
Feel free to shoot me pictures and keep me informed, and sharing that with everyone.
If they not
and,
like
do you guys have
legit
anything
boyfriend and girlfriend, it really sounds not boyfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend and boyfriend. It really sounds like it. Pictures.
I'm gonna have Pete go first.
Oh my God, P-Dog is his wife.
Oh geez, plugs. I don't know. I don't upload much onto my YouTube anymore, so I can't really plug that. I don't really tweet much, so I can't really plug that. I just say, Chris is most likely going to have a few videos up of the trip. So if anyone here is actually interested in seeing, what Ireland's like, or or about the region, or maybe if we do an unboxing for this PlayStation 4, whatever happens, the footage will most likely be going up in this channel. So you would want to check out that YouTube.
Also Fallout 4. Yeah, I'm going to try to make it to hit, because I can't miss Fallout 4. As much as gaming, sorry.
No, fuck Fallout 4.
Fallout is an exception. So I'm gonna, because he'll have the system. We're gonna do like co-op Fallout 4 commentary, because like I can't wait for that game. Besides, that's the game that I found your content over, so it kind of has a special kind of connection, and it's just I've been waiting for years for it. So that's an exception we're gonna make. But yeah, so.
Yeah, I can't really think of much else to plug of my own, so Chris, if you want to take over, go right ahead.
I mean, yeah, I have my YouTube channel. Don't really upload much. I was actually waiting for the opportunity on my channel to say, hey guys, I'm going to be I was going to say that the Area Lords channel is going to turn into a vlogs channel for months. So get ready to, stop looking at gameplay.
Wait.
To,
I see.
Okay,
the
regions of England, Ireland, and any other countries that I find myself in.
I'm not making gay jokes. I'm being legit. What I'm saying
that's pretty much what it's going to be.
I'm not making jokes at all.
Twitter and stuff, obviously, But again, I'm not really active with a lot of the stuff that I do and all of that stuff. And
what the fuck?
Yeah, that's the main things for me. And so thanks for having us on, Phil. I reached out to you for this just because I knew that it was a big thing for Pete and I, and so I was like, I think Phil should know, because we wouldn't have met, if it wasn't, for that medium, that the thing, because friends. Sometimes friends, most commonly will meet at, university, at college, school, just like, primary, secondary school. And that's where lots of friendships are made and stuff.
This has a legit
for you, your channel and
really
your
does.
persona and everything that you did, like you were the medium that connected that. And I think I just wanted
DSP
you to know that there might be other people like us who have these kind of things going on, and you've made a huge
I'm sure we're not the
impact.
only ones that have made friends through the community. This is just one on the spot. This is just one exception where it's going to be two people from two different continents meeting up together, but Belts is just not an exception. Like, for years, people have befriended each other through this community, and overall it is like a place where people can go and enjoy themselves and meet people with common interests, and it's a great place to try and make friends.
Landmark for the DSP community, right?
Yeah. So
it really is.
That's all I would. That's all I would pretty much say.
That's all she wrote.
All right, well, thank you very much, both of you guys, for being on the show tonight. I appreciate it. I certainly
I'm glad I listened to this. I actually am.
And obviously,
I know I sound like I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not.
People
I'm glad I listened to
had
this.
These kind of interactions and awesome, unique stories. If anyone ever wants to talk to me about them or share
the
them with
beginning
me,
was kind of shit because it was just two dudes saying how they discovered DSP, which is
darksidefil@hotmail.com.
But I actually enjoyed
my
that.
public email
I
address.
actually did.
Share these experiences with me. We would like to hear from more people. You know what I mean? Over the years, have maybe had awesome things in store or happened to them as a result of checking out content on YouTube or my content or whatever. So thanks guys for being on. Thanks for the story. Thanks for your time. And I certainly wish you guys both the best of luck with this trip. Hopefully it is an eventful one, and hopefully we'll be hearing more from you in the future.
Well,
nice. Thanks, Phil.
He got the shot into the stick, obviously. Wow. That was amazing.
I misclicked there. All right, everyone. So, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for checking out that segment. I hope that you enjoyed it. I want to say special thanks to Chris and Pete.
Thank you for giving me that. I enjoyed it.
Schedules to do that segment for the podcast tonight, and I wish them the best. While Chris is over there in London, abroad, and in Ireland, checking everything out over there across the pond. And hopefully we'll have updates, right? If we get updates from social media and stuff from those two, I will do my best to keep you guys in the loop so we can kind of follow along on their adventures and stuff.
I enjoyed that. I legitimately enjoyed that.
Over the next several months. And as well, as we just said in that segment, I will give everyone updates on what's going on with those guys, if they will be able to join us for the Black Ops 3 co-op, or if they won't. If they will, just so everyone knows, that will be that weekend of November, starting November 6th,
I don't know if my
7th,
computer
8th,
cut off
and possibly the 9th are the days when I'm looking to check out the Black Ops 3, especially the cooperative zombie stuff. So we will see if it is available or not for them to be in there. If not, I will be doing that content with my friend Coruchado, Nestor, who's done cooperative gameplay with me before of both Black Ops and many other things. And we may be looking for other people to join us as well. So keep your ears and eyes open if you're interested.
So what did DSP do for the last 45 minutes?
Did
he just sit at the sofa?
If you are a long-time viewer of mine, if you are a fan of my content, if you are a fan of Hate Live or my gameplay stuff or both, and there is a possibility that you may like to share your story on the podcast, I may in the future, now I'm not saying immediately, but I may in the future be looking for some people to do similar segments to that segment, where you can share your story of how you became a viewer or a fan, and maybe some stuff that we've done in the past, and maybe just shoot the shit. We can shoot the shit on certain topics. If you want to talk about wrestling, you want to talk about a certain game, or even just to
like
discuss
make
a
friends
certain
with
topic
him.
of pop culture, anything.
And we could talk
I'd
on
be
the
looking
next
to possibly
DSP
have guests like
podcast
that
about how
on
we
Hate Live in the
met
future.
over his content. That'll work.
Of course, it will be a pre-recorded segment like that. So
oh
we can
yeah,
make
I
sure
need to
that
find.
everything
I need
works
to talk to
properly on the
somebody
show.
and make
But,
friends with them.
that was fun. That was absolutely fun, and I'm looking forward to possibly more
I
people
enjoyed
coming
it,
on the show
DSP.
in the
That was
future. In fact,
true
there's one or two
positivity.
people that I've been speaking with that I'm looking to possibly hear back from
Wow.
about maybe getting on Hate Live
amazing.
podcast in the future. But as I've said at the beginning of this show, this is going to be the last podcast for the summer.
You put
There
a
will not
smile
be
on
another
my
Hate
face
Live
in that segment.
podcast
That was
until
something.
mid to late September. So just to throw that out there again so everyone's well aware. Because there's so much going on, next week I need to finish up all the projects I'm working for this summer, or working on this summer. The week after that is going to be Until Dawn and Ask the King. The week after that, we're going to have Metal Gear Solid 5 and Mad Max.
I need to make friends with. As a matter of fact, Kless is my friend. I like Kless. Not Kless.
If not a little longer, it may actually be the fall.
But
by
what
the
his
time that
name
we do the
is?
next Hate Live podcast,
Fuck.
we'll have to see. Okay, but
shit.
you can always stay connected to me on
Damn
Twitter
it,
at
I
They Call Me
mentioned him in one of my
DSP. I keep
last
pointing over
videos.
here.
God fucking
I know a lot of
damn
people
it.
still don't like to use Twitter, but I think a lot more people have been using it than in recent memory, or than in past memory. It's becoming a more commonplace thing to use Twitter, and I tweet all the time about stuff like that. And that's where I'll be sharing the social media stuff from Chris and Pete when they're over there together across the pond. And that was awesome. I'm happy that I got to do that.
Yeah, Revan! Yes! God Revan!
So now,
God Revan is my friend. I like God Revan.
To close the show,
I need to make friends with him.
A couple quick things.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say thank you. Hope you
is
enjoyed
God
the
Revan
show.
a dude or a girl?
And,
I don't know.
I will see
I need
you
to make friends
next
with God
week,
Revan.
right? I'll be doing all the games that I mentioned earlier in the show. I hope you'll join me for that. Listen,
That's what I'm doing.
fully aware.
That's what I'm doing.
Fully aware that this has been
I need
a
to make
boring
friends
August,
with God Revan.
and that we are hopefully
I love
all,
God
fingers
Revan.
crossed, looking forward
Because
to
Kless
this
isn't a
fall
DSP fan
hardcore
anymore,
gaming
so that
season
won't work.
with very
I gotta
much
make friends with
anticipation
God
that
Revan.
these games that are coming out are going to be
Yeah.
good, right? Until
That
Dawn,
could be my
Metal Gear
my
Solid
agenda
5,
for the
Mad
week.
Max,
My
Mario
agenda
Maker,
is to make friends with God Revan.
Soma,
Yes.
and NBA 2K,
Hey, bro.
the new Tony Hawk, Rock Band,
I
Disgaea
hope they don't see
5.
this part of the video.
I'm just looking
I
at
can
the,
make
the,
friends
the
with
schedule
God
right
Revan.
now. Rainbow
and,
Six, Siege.
Wait. Okay.
There's another one I got there that week I can't even read.
I can make friends
Assassin's Creed
with God
Syndicate,
Revan.
Halo 5, WWE
Is Darkside
2K16,
Bot? I think Darkside
Fallout
Bot is
4,
alive
Call
again.
of Duty, Need
I
for
can make
Speed,
friends with God
Rise of
Revan.
the
The
Tomb
stuff he's saying
Raider,
is fucking
Star Wars
worthless, by the way.
Battlefront, and I didn't
So
even
sorry
mention
for,
all the games yet.
blocking them out.
But if even half of those games
Is the
end up being
Darkside Bot
good,
still
this is
alive?
going to stack up to be one
Nah,
of the best
Darkside
gaming
Bot dead.
seasons
I gotta
I've
log him in
ever
again.
covered
We got a
on
fucking
YouTube.
socket exception
It's
apparently.
that good. Like,
But
as
yeah,
long as they're not
I gotta
all
make friends with
disappointed,
God
it's gonna be
Revan.
an amazing end of the
Holy
year.
shit.
And I wanna
I can
thank
make friends
you
with God
for
Revan,
being here
dude.
during these deader months of the summer.
And
for
we could
allowing me
do
to
a
have
fucking
full-time
podcast
business to do
together.
this, 'cause I know that the viewership
Revan
will pick
and
up on
Tevin
this
show.
stuff, but it's you guys that are here for the
We could
downtime
get to know each other
We're allowed to
better,
keep doing
and then
this
me
full-time
and God
thing.
Revan
Okay.
to be like
And now to conclude the show, ladies
Air
and
Raid
gentlemen,
Lord and P-Dog.
I will read a special thank you shout out to the following
That's it.
patrons for the
That's what
month
we
of
doing.
July.
That's what we doing. I'm
donated
following
for
God
really
Revan tonight.
because they get
God
it
Revan is gonna be my. I'm
part of
gonna
their
make
work.
God Revan my friend.
$10 or more. I
love God Revan.
Shouted out in the videos, especially.
I called him. I shouted him out in 2 of my videos. Come on.
July,
I love God Revan.
Kazzy, Jilcy, 1973.
Oh, fuck these
Matt
people.
Allen, Brandon Cole, guitar player, 1939.
He's gonna call the names out manually, isn't he?
Sammy Samosa,
Yes.
Ben Wynn. Yes, I
yes. I'm following God Revan tonight. We're doing that. And me and God Revan are gonna be on the next Hate Live.
Florin Sabao, Chev 427BB, Christian Redheath.
He's gonna say all the names manually. Wow.
Hank Dumo, Nathan 13, Papa Neeks, Super Skull 85. QPZMWN.
Wow.
That's a mouthful.
That story legitimately put a smile on my face. I'm glad I listened to it. And now the DSP bot is alive again.
Logan Shannon, Quinn Roberts, Aaron Carpenter, Travis Green, Planet Jeff, Shinobi OS, Blaine Mayo, Jacob Hendricks, Andre, The Day Thinker, Joe Wilshire, Lucas Teams, Kevin Stiles, and Adrian Sweeney. Thank you very much.
I gotta take a... Wait. No, wait. Let me take a screenshot of that.
Just by viewing, but
I can't even do it. God damn it.
Making this content awesome.
Making this content awesome. The fucking chat scrolls too fast. I need a chat that doesn't manually scroll. It's annoying. Thank you to Your Worthless Human for the views. I love God Revan.
And I will see you next time on Hate Live amidst the hardcore gaming season. I can't wait to see how things go. Hopefully it starts with a big bang and not a little whimper. I guess we'll see. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night. I hope you enjoyed Hate Live. I'll see you in about a month's time. Thanks.
Wow. That last segment made it worth it. I'm glad I watched this. That last segment was amazing. It was so fucking weird. Wow, it was so fucking weird. Oh, man.